I'm about to sew it and I'm nervous.
This was the first buttonhole I'd ever done, and my sewing machine hated it. Hi guys, and welcome to the Healeyverse, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Katie, and today I'm going to show you how I made regular men's dress trousers into Hobbit pants. Now, of course, everything we've done recently that has been Hobbit related has been because of the Brandywine Festival, which is coming up, which we will not be able to attend. Sad. But someday we will attend a Hobbit festival, and with that in mind, I needed to make my husband some Hobbit trousers. So with that, let's get into it. First off, we just got these trousers at a charity shop here in England, and he liked the color, somewhat liked the fit, but obviously he was intending to wear them with bracers, and they needed to be shorter. Now, one thing, more modern trousers will have like a button and a zip. I don't think Hobbits had zips. I'm like 99.99% sure Hobbits didn't have zips. So, not only did I need to shorten these trousers, I needed to find a way to hide the zip, which I did using the extra material I took off of the bottom. Look at me being ever so, what's the word? For like, not wasting and being, there's a word for it. I feel like it's in the Scout, yeah, Scout is. Thrifty. Look at me being real thrifty. Hello, it's me once again from my mother-in-law's kitchen because table space. I am going to take some just normal pants, men's trousers, and make them hobbity. So essentially I am bringing the seam of the pant legs higher, and then I'm going to take some of the material that I cut off from one of the pant legs to use as like a front flap closure thing to cover the zipper that's there, to make them look a little bit more authentic. I've never done buttonholes before, so that's gonna be something new. But yeah, you come along on this journey and wish me luck. First step was to measure how much we wanted to take off the pant leg. Now, obviously I will have left myself enough room with that measurement to make a seam because I'm not leaving them the raw edge. Okay, so I have marked myself 2 lines. The lower one is to cut, and the upper one is so that my seams are even. So there's a little hack there that I probably didn't come up with myself, but it's fine. Now I'm going to cut them and then pin them. That's done. Now I pin. So I simply cut the fabric, seamed the bottom of the trousers, and then came the difficult part. So I did a lot of sewing. Attaching, what is going on with these? The braces are still attached. So attaching the flap of material that I was going to use for the front flap which Frodo has a somewhat similar type of trousers. His flap comes up and buttons, which is just a different way to do it. That's definitely a more practical way of doing it. We were just doing a cosmetic cover-up quick job. So I finished sewing the hems on the bottom of the trousers. Now I've opened up one of the leg bits that I cut off, and I'm going to take out this seam because it's a slightly different color thread and your girl can't stand that. And then I'm going to hem the sides, 3 sides, and attach one side of it to one side of the front of these pants. Here we go. Ta-da! Okay, so I've cut it out and pinned it on 3 of the sides. This isn't actually an attached seam, but this is how I'm going to attach it to the pants. I'm going to do a double seam to hold it nice and secure, and then I'll just kind of like flap over. So I'm going to sew these seams and then see about attaching it to the trousers, and I'm very nervous. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's all good.
I'm about to sew it and I'm nervous.
So I simply sewed the flap onto the trousers themselves, approximately where it needed to be, to then fold over and go right across the zipper. Now the zipper's still there. They still fasten like normal pants, but it's hidden. Now comes the challenging part. We found 2 matching buttons. Go us. This was without purchasing buttons, so here for that. I never made a buttonhole before with my sewing machine. And oh boy, my sewing machine did not like this fabric. Okay, so it's actually a really good thing that I didn't film myself doing the buttonholes, because I kind of goofed them and I kind of also ran out of thread. So it's a slightly different brown that I have as my backup thread, but because it will bother me having one buttonhole one color and one buttonhole a slightly different color, I am now going to have to take out my decent buttonhole and the one I goofed / ran out of thread on. So got my ripper. That's what I'm doing now. It's great. It's fine. It doesn't suck. This was the first buttonhole I'd ever done, and my sewing machine hated it. It at one point built up a single, like it wasn't pulling the fabric through, so it just built up a massive pile of stitches on top of each other. So that was real heckin' annoying. I don't know what just happened. I'm gonna show you. So that's my needle, and it's stuck. And my fabric's stuck. I don't think I like buttonholes. This isn't going well. And I feel like I'm ruining the fabric. It's great. Everything's fine. I did eventually figure it out. I had to hand crank both buttonholes. All 2 of them. And I don't know if you've ever done buttonholes or if you've ever hand cranked buttonholes with a sewing machine. It probably would have been faster to hand sew them. I wasn't gonna do that, but it might have been faster. That being said, I did successfully manage to get the buttonholes made, cut open, and the buttons sewed on. Well, I eventually solved the buttonhole fiasco, but I had to crank it by hand. So that was a nightmare. And then I marked where the buttons went, sewed them on, and it's done. So like, back over to other me to talk about it some more. I don't know. And with that, it just buttons over and it hides things. Now, we did potentially also talk about hiding the elastic, because these trousers do have elastic on the sides, and I do somewhere have the scrap of fabric from the other pant leg that I could do that with, but for now Matt just said to leave them, especially with not going to the Brandywine Festival. He at least has something for now. And obviously we'll get more clothes, we'll build out our wardrobes, and we'll just keep making more cool stuff and getting better at what we do. But that is pretty much it. A really simple one this week, just essentially how to turn normal slacks, trousers, into Hobbit trousers. What do you think? Do you have any recommendations for other alterations that could be made, or different types of trousers to get? I'm happy to accept any and all recommendations for Hobbit costumes, so drop those in the comments. If you did like this video, make sure you go down and hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever we're posting, because believe me, we are working on some cool stuff. I've got 2 projects that are in early stages, but they should be coming together pretty soon, and I'm very excited for them. So you don't want to miss them. They're LARP related, if you can guess. They're LARP related. And I'm gonna bring back culinary. I'm gonna do some more culinary stuff soon. I think. I'm gonna try. If you do want to support us more than just leaving a like and subscribing, we do have a Patreon. It is linked in the description. And shout out to our first patron, Renata Tombleson. Thanks for joining us over there. Also, if you're into Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, other lore related stuff, we have a second channel where we just talk about lore. That's called The Lore Dimension, and you can find it right here. Go on then. But that, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Whatever that could be. Also, if you want to support the channel in other ways, YouTube thinks you might like one of these videos. This might be a playlist. Check them out. Thanks.